but 1 for 4. That tells you that you need to look at things in a different way, and you need to tip your cap to the defense. They've done a great job.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And he'll be corralled right around the 30.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Again, it's Kamara. Oh, he shifts past him. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't they?
Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. Going to give this time to the tailback. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Breeze to throw on 3rd and 1. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. Breeze on the hook up to Thomas for the New Orleans first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Breeze now. 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now Breeze. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 14 yards is the pickup. 1st down, New Orleans.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. A 15-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need...
Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. And this fake extra point attempt failed big time. Not only did they not get it, they went backwards. They've got this big lead. They said, forget one.
They didn't even attempt it from the 15-yard line. What are they thinking? I do know this. When you fake one in this situation with that type of a lead, especially from the 15-yard line, oh, boy. I tell you what, meeting them again somewhere down the line, they'll remember this. Yeah, they'll think that they were trying to clown them a little bit. In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 13. And opening there on that 1st down run as he gets this forward for about 8 or 9. That looks to be 8 officially, so 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
From the 22, Rodgers. It's caught here by Adams. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10. 1st down, Packers. here live in New Orleans. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now Williams. It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it'll be third down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. The Packers on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now it's Rodgers. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Now Rodgers. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th, and we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
They run it again with Kamara. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. On 2nd down, Kamara. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow him.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase.
It's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. That's complete right around the 8. And he will not make it to the goal line as his try for 2 is going to come up empty. But that's little consolation to this defense as they have been porous all game long.
Okay, they went for the fake off of the extra point attempt, and they didn't get there. Didn't get it completed successfully. Did someone dare them to do that? Did someone double dog dare them to do that?
What maybe they saw something on film, but do you see something on film when those to try something from the 15 on a PAT? I don't know.
The only thing they needed to see on film there was a snap, a hold, and someone kicking the ball through the post. In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
They begin the drive with Williams. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
They run it again with Williams. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Any team that runs the toss and runs it successfully, that means they win the battle on the edges. That means you seal the edge in order to let your back get to the corner. They got it done there for a very nice game.
Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
319. Go. Go. 319.
Again, it's Jones. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production, but how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But the bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they keep handing it to him.
Now on 4th down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete.
No surprise. They try to throw the ball on 4th down, but it gets batted down. They don't pick it up.
Well, a little football 101. When you're going toward that quarterback, you see he's going to start to throw. Get your hands up,
Get your hands up, affect the play, and then everyone get your hands out in the holes. And they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. To throw, it's Breeze. He gets it to Thomas. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 14 yards is the pickup, first down, New Orleans. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
It doesn't matter whether they scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Kamara's got the first down and then some. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. A 14-yard pickup. That's 14 yards on 2 straight plays.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And just one man in the backfield here. That's Kamara, 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. They went backwards 5 yards there on 3rd down to bring up 4th.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The Saints on 4th down last year, 13 of 16, second best in the league, and they'll try it here. Ginn has it complete. And he will be brought down well shy of the goal line. They get the completion but cannot push forward into the end zone, and that will force a turnover on downs. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
A running play on first down, and it turns into a fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan. Again, it's Williams. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, just a deadly combination, and we see why right there.
And we've seen it develop over the years, because when Devontae Adams first joined the Packers...
Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. And he gets into the end zone. We'll give him credit. They're not going to take this deficit lying down. They get 2 closer here on the fake extra point.
All right, partner, one more time. Our whole lives, you put the ball on the 3-yard line, kick the extra point. 2015, they put it on the 15 to kick the extra point. 2016, they said, we're leaving it there. So if you want to fake it, that's a long way to go. And they got it done.
I was going to say they had a 15-yard play in their back pocket.
You don't see that in too many play sheets, do you?
No.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
All day, just like that.
On third down, here's Kamara. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Bree's going to go on 4th down. Looking long for Thomas, and they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed, it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there. And I know if we go to the postgame press conferences, the winning coach, you know what he's going to say, why he did it? We need the points, okay? Because you never know at the end of the year if points are going to come into the tiebreaker if we're trying to get into the playoffs. That's always the standard justification.
They try and run on first down, but to no avail. Tackled for a 2-yard loss in the backfield. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And once more, this play going in the wrong direction. The Saints get to him behind the line again. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence, and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Well, no shock here. For the 7th time in this game, it appears they'll go for it on 4th down. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes.
Ready? 5-8, 5-8. Hey, come on, oh, come on, oh.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. That play look a lot like the previous one. Both tackles behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Oh, wait, hold everything. A timeout has been called. Seemingly silly with 1 second remaining in this game. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. On the ground, this is Kamara. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving.
The kicker for the Saints, Will Lutz, has it teed up, and here we go from New Orleans. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line. So the Packers offense backed up here to begin their first drive. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
I remember meeting him when he was playing at Cal, and I remember walking away thinking, instead of having Rodgers stitched on the back of his jersey, it should just say confidence, because that's how he felt about his own abilities and his ability to elevate a team.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. He gets this to Davante Adams. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. 13 yards, first down, Packers.
First down, check, 47. No chance.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. He'll have a first down past the 40. He's got daylight. The 30, 10, touchdown, Packers. Davante Adams, 73 yards. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game.
Jab. The second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. They juked him. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15. So here are the Saints under longtime head coach Sean Payton. They'll be led out by the first pick of the 2nd round back in 2001. And that's the veteran Drew Brees.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, the other team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
Now Kamara. And this Green Bay defense making that play look a lot like the previous one. Both tackles behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
Ready? Yellow lady, yellow lady. Watch time, watch time. Tight end right.
Breeze now. And that is incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And boy, down a touchdown already, but they're going to line up to go for it on their side of the field. They'll run. This is Kamara. And the surge is going to be too much defensively. He's hit and taken down in the backfield. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And my goodness, that means this next drive will begin 4 yards from the end zone already. And a failure on fourth down on the other side leads immediately to a first and goal. To throw, it's Rodgers. Got a man open, it's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. 2 touchdown passes now here in this first quarter for Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. They've got to be thrilled on the road right now. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, and quickly trying to make it 14-0.
Yeah, and mentioned it already. On the road, to be able to go into someone else's house and establish a start like that, obviously your confidence rises in a big way, and you're putting some doubt in their minds.
Crosby with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. Oh, able to avoid him. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. The Saints ready to get the football back here on offense. And let's go back to the 5-1 start that they've had this season. Obviously very impressive with Bridgewater at quarterback. Last week against Jacksonville, the defense was good, but Jacksonville's defense is good, as you noted. And then this week they're going to go to Chicago against another very stout defense.
Yeah, the Chicago Bears defense can hold people down, so you wonder, can either one of those offenses make any type of headway? The Saints have done just enough. Their 5 wins, a total of 24 points. But they have to love the fact that when their defense trots on the field, they feel like they're in every game.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. So you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offense coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. And that'll get him to first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant. They run with a former Viking and Raider. It's Latavius Murray. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And a look now at the offense for New Orleans.
The steal in the 2017 NFL Draft had to be running back Alvin Kamara out of Tennessee, who ended up being that year's NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Split time with Mark Ingram his first 2 years in the league. With Mark Ingram now in Baltimore, it's his show. And through his first 2 years, almost equal yardage, rushing and receiving. Expect his rushing numbers to take a big leap in 2019.
Blake Martinez, the NFC's leading tackler a year ago, in on the stop. It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on 3rd down. They get this again. Jet sweep. guys are on the board here in this first quarter. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over, this game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Oh, well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get...
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. To throw again. Rodgers trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by a former first-round pick, Patrick Robinson. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Well, this was a 14-0 game not too long ago. Things were looking pretty good. Then you give up the touchdown on the last drive, now the interception.
So that's a lesson in trying to stay vigilant, isn't it? You have to stay on top of things. Can't relax too much because, as you noted, things change. Now they've got to go out there and get a spark going again and try and slow down this comeback.
14 yards is the pickup. First down, New Orleans. Throwing on first down is Breeze. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up first and goal.
Come on. One thing for sure. You know that Michael Thomas is going to be the target on a 3rd down pass. And Drew Brees finds him and keeps this drive moving.
And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5. Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs. And just one man in the backfield here. That's Kamara, 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of